Hi all, and I just want to thank you guys again for making the Tiny Tenkara Kickstarter campaign a huge success. Today's video is sponsored by Lisa and Ian Ang, Shirley Lang, and Doc TB. Thank you guys again for your $5 support and helping make this video possible. So in today's video, we're really going to be talking about how to set up your rods. I'm going to make this specific for the starter packs that you guys all received, but this will apply if you go to a fly shop and buy some level line tippet and flies. It'll still all work for that. So we're going to start out here with the rod. Comes in a cloth case. You can take this plastic sheath off the cork handle. This top piece will simply just pop right out of there. And when you're extending the rod, what you want to do is just grab it kind of firmly but not too hard and just pull it out, and those sections will catch on your fingers and you extend it and the rod won't be too overextended. And when you take it back down, you want to take it back down section by section, and you just put it back down like that. And you never want to open a rod by slinging it out like a toy lightsaber, like flicking it out like that, because that'll cause this top tip section to be caught. And another thing you guys might run into is when taking down the rod, this tip section might be hard to put back down. So you want to grab it just below the joint on one section and just above the joint on the top one, and just slide it in and it'll go together perfectly like that. Now to initially set up the rod, you want to take this top part of the rod, this line right here is called the Lillian, and what you're going to do is you're going to tie a simple overhand knot in the Lillian of the rod, and that'll just help keep the level line on it. So just a simple knot like that, and you're ready to go right there. Now for the second one, I'm going to use this bigger rope just so you guys can see it better. So you're going to take this orange line like this, and the knot you're going to do is like this. You're going to take a loop and you're going to simply make a fat loop with like this, and then you'll get a loop like there, and you'll trim this tag off. So one more time. To make that, you take a loop, you put it over, send it through, and you get that loop like that. Now I will do it with the level line, the orange level line that you guys received. Take the loop and you'll make a fixed loop by doing that same knot we just did on the bigger rope with this little guy. Pull it through, and now you've got a fixed loop at the top. You can take a pair of scissors or whatever, and you'll trim this short tag off just because you don't want that there. Then it's real easy to attach this to the Lillian of the rod. Like I said, you've got that knot in there, and what you're gonna do is, I'll show you on this big rope, is you're gonna take your loop just like this, and you're gonna send line through it like that, and you'll get this second loop here. This second loop will go around the Lillian of the knot, and you'll pull it tight, and then that'll be the way you secure it to the rod. So with the level line, you'll take that, you send the line through the loop you just made, so like that, and that'll get you a second loop, just like that. There it is. And then you'll take the Lillian of the line, and you'll send it through there, and you'll just pull it tight. And then that'll sit up against that overhand knot you tied in, and your level line is now connected to your rod, just like that. Now we've got to connect this orange level line to the tippet, which will be found on you guys' line holders. So the right amount of tippet is a little bit different for each person. It kind of depends on your arm length. So when you are fishing, the primary cast you guys are going to use is the bow and arrow cast, which is where you're going to hold the line and the fly and you point it where you want it to go. So if you have the tippet way too long, then you won't be able to pull it back, and if it's too short, you won't be able to pull it back. So for me, the correct amount of tippet looks like about 1.5 feet, which is going to be like that much. Okay, so there's your tippet. And now we're going to do the same thing that we did with the level line, and we're going to make this exact same loop with the tippet. So once again, I'll show you guys how to do that. That looks, you take your loop just like this, and you're going to go simply like that, and you get your loop. So that's the exact same thing we're going to do that we've already done on the top of that line, and we're also going to do it with the tippet here. Send it through. This is a little bit tricky because this is some fine line. And if you need help tying these knots, I often find that using tweezers to like grab stuff and pull it through will work. So there's that second loop that we just made. And you once again will trim the tag, which is that tail end. And then we're going to take our level line here, and we're going to do the exact same thing, that exact same loop. So we will now do that, the same loop that we did up here, we're going to do down here. Okay. So now you've got one loop at the end of your level line. You have a loop in your tippet. Now I'm going to show you guys how to connect these two. So we'll take this loop, and I'm going to take another rope here just to show you, and we'll make another loop in this one. And this way you guys can see it a little bit better. There we go. Okay, so we'll have this represent the orange line, this will represent the clear line, and what you're going to do is you're going to send one loop through the other like this. Very simple, right? And then you'll take the end, which in our case is the tippet. Take the end of the tippet and you're going to send it through that loop, just like that. Pull that through, cinch it up, and now you have what we call a loop-to-loop connection. And this will look better when it's on here because you won't have this huge knot. So once again, to show you guys how to do that, I'm going to take one. Ideally, you got to take the tippet actually. So you take the tippet, here's your level line. Take the tippet loop, send it all the way through. Then take the end of the tippet, send it through this one, that, pull it tight, and you will get your loop-to-loop connection. Okay, so now we'll do it with the level line and the tippet. So I'm going to take my loop of the tippet and take the loop of the tippet and send it through the loop of the level line, just like that. Okay. Now we take the end of the tippet and we send it through the loop of the tippet, and we pull it all tight. And now you have a nice loop-to-loop connection. And now these are connected, and what we can do here is we can trim this tag so it all looks nice. I don't have a fly with me, but I'll show you guys how to do it. So the tying on the fly is arguably a very simple knot to do, and here's what we'll do. So this right here, this will represent the eye of the hook on your fly right here. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your tippet, you're going to send it through that eye of the hook, just like that. Now, you take your favorite number between 1 and 10. Mine happens to be 7, and you're going to wrap the tippet around itself 7 times in my case. So I'll just do for 4 here, just because this rope's a little big. Then once you get that, you simply send it back through that loop, and what you want to do is you actually want to lick this knot so it lubricates, and you'll cinch it down, and you've got a classic fisherman's knot that'll hold your tippet to your fly. And this loop once again represents the eye of the hook that's on your fly. So one more time, that'll be, you take your tippet, you send it through the eye of the hook that is on the fly, just like that. You wrap the tippet around itself, whatever your lucky number is between 1 and 10, just like that. And then you'll take this end right here and send it through that loop at the bottom, lick it, cinch it down, and you are ready to go. Okay, now, so a lot of you guys have concerns about the line holder. It was different from the one in the video. And so your line holder is actually this foam thing. So once you do your initial tie, what I would recommend is just looping up this extra tippet that you have in case you break your tippet and need to replace it. And what you can do is simply use the line holder as it was supposed to be used. So we take that, we'll put it in here. Where's the top? I was on the bottom. Okay, steep that for later. Now, for your guys' line holders, the reason I replaced the line holder you saw in the video with this line holder is for 2 reasons. One is because In the old line holder, it would sit on here and you'd have two tabs that would stick out that are held on by rubber bands. And when you would actually put the rod in your pocket, those tabs would flip inwards on themselves and the line would come off and get all messed up in your pocket. And so I decided that a major selling point of this rod was your ability to put it in your pocket, and when using that line holder, it would tangle up the line. So I found a better line holder, which is this one. It's foam, so in case you lose it while you're out in the stream, it'll float. And I believe it's a little bit easier to wind up. So what you'll do is you'll take down your rod, like I said, section by section, just like this. Nice and easy. And then if that tip section gives you a little problem, grab it on both sides of that joint, stick it in, and it'll fall in. Now, when you're tying your rod, you gotta make, or when you're tying this back up on the line holder, you gotta make sure that the tip is all the way in, because if you have the tip out like this and you're pulling on it, it's gonna break. Even though these tips are super resilient, like they can bend all the way in half, you will break it if you pull on it like that. So make sure it's all the way in. And you can ensure that by just sticking your cap right back on, so you don't have to worry about it. Now, what you'll do is you'll take your fly and you can either punch out this little piece of foam in here or leave it in, it really doesn't matter. And you'll hook your fly right onto this lip, right? So your fly is gonna be here, and then you'll just wind it up nice and easy. All the level line is gonna be wound up on here. And so, winding, 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 winding. A little bit faster than the other one. And then once you get it down to about that much left, simply send it over the top of the rod, seat it on the cork handle, and now that'll hold your rod, and it won't come undone when you stick it in your pocket. Another thing I recommend you do for these line holders is take an X-Acto knife and just cut some notches, you know, every ½ inch into this foam. That way, when you slide on, this line will actually fit in one of those notches and it won't come loose like this. So I'd recommend you do that. You don't have to, but it makes things a little bit easier when the line is being held on the rod like this. So once again, just cut, you know, some notches with a razor blade in there or a kitchen knife, and it'll actually it'll fall into those notches and make things a little bit easier. But you don't have to. I just recommend you do that. That's it for setting up of the rod. Those are all the knots. They're all it's basically two knots, just that overhand knot at the top, and then the loop knot. And if you have any questions, please comment on the Kickstarter page. Thanks again so much for watching, and I hope that helps. I'll see you guys later.